Support for Music Money University and the following message are brought to you by TuneCore. Do you want to take your career to the next level and start making money from your music? The good news is all you need is a digital distributor. TuneCore is dedicated to helping independent artists get their music in over 150 digital stores and streaming services in over 100 countries worldwide. And the best part is, they never take a cut of the money they collect for you. No label, no catch, no barriers to selling your music worldwide. Take control of your career and get 20% off your first upload on TuneCore by clicking the link in our show notes. Welcome to Music Money University, where you learn in-depth strategies on how real artists, musicians, and entrepreneurs earn a full-time income in the music business. I am your host, Omari. What is the number one problem you're trying to solve for your music business today?
So what we're trying... I'm collaborating with a guy in UK called DJ Luck, and in the UK he's pretty big in UK garage music. But he hasn't released anything for about 20 years, so this was pre kind of Spotify and internet. He's still getting about 200,000 plays a month on Spotify from stuff that's like 20 years old. And now, like, we want to release stuff again, but it's just, you know, we need to release it in respect of, like, the new tools out there, if that makes sense. So we kind of need some help. And I don't know if we can leverage off the existing stuff. I'm sure there'll be some way to leverage off the... He's also got... So say Spotify's getting 200,000 listens a month, and for UK Garage, he's in all of, like, the top playlists already. They put his old tunes in there. For YouTube, he's got multiple videos with like 10, 20 million hits that he doesn't own because other people just uploaded them. So that's kind of the position. And then the advice is, you know, what we can do to, you know, with new releases, how we can capitalize on that.
Okay. So with garage music, it's So what happens on Spotify is obviously Spotify has their editorial playlist, and those are, for this genre, going to be by and large way bigger than the independent playlist. So if you're just looking to get on garage only music, Spotify is going to have a very limited reach for independent promotion for that. However, YouTube would have a larger reach for getting in front of, effectively getting in front of the new audience you want to get in front of. YouTube would probably be the better route to go because you can kind of get in front of your own traffic that way. So since he has a decent name already, he can get in front of his own traffic. And then he can also get in front of some of the other people's traffic in that genre a lot easier than he would be on Spotify. So the way it would look... is that on Spotify, if you did independent promotion, it would get on playlists that feature that genre, but probably not exclusively that genre. So let's say there's I don't know, if it's like kind of upbeat, then it would get on some workout playlists or some top 40 playlists. On YouTube, though, you could get it in front of pretty much the exact audience you wanted. Is that making sense?
Totally, yeah. So the YouTube, you could sort of tailor it to a garage audience, whereas Spotify is a bit looser, the audience, because you might be, you know, top 20 or workout, like you say, which is a bit looser. It's a bit less direct. Correct.
So the only way to get very, very direct on Spotify would be through Spotify audio ads. And even then, it's kind of rough to get plays on that. It's really a toss-up. Even with a lot of marketing expertise, you're not going to get a bunch of plays through a Spotify audio ad. Certainly not as many as you'd have the potential to get with the playlist promotions. So what I would do, I'd probably try out a little bit of Spotify, maybe like 10%, 20%, because you don't want to leave the new release dead, but I'd have most of it going towards YouTube.
And then what sort of budget would you, I mean, I suppose it's how long's a piece of string, isn't it? But what would you recommend then? Do you have an idea of a budget you'd if we were doing a new release and testing this stuff? Is there kind of an amount that you think is a healthy amount to get us a good test result? Or
Yeah. So, well, what is the end goal of this new release? Just to kind of spice things back up and get those listeners back?
yeah, exactly. I suppose, yeah. Just really, it is listens at the moment. Yeah, we're not just going to do one release. We've got kind of multiple tracks coming out, and it really is trying to maximize the people listening. Yeah.
Okay.
What else could it be? What else could it be? Do you see what I mean? Is there another aim it could be apart from getting listens?
Yes. Sometimes, actually, with a lot of older artists, they happen to tour very well. Because they have their old fan base. A lot of the people are of age where they can just spend a lot more money going to different places. They don't really have to worry about if the ticket is $50 or $100 or $200. But they have the money, so they're just like, okay, it's $200. Let's go. And we want to buy this and that when we're there, and it's not a problem for them. So older artists tend to not tend to, but have the potential to tour very well and profit a lot off that tour. That's why you see some of the old bands and stuff still get huge, huge tours going and out earn a lot of the younger guys coming up, or guys and gals for that matter. So that could be one of the aims.
I tell you as well, what might clarify what has happened in UK based is that garage kind of where it kind of went and it's come back again recently. And there's been a release in the charts, Ladbroke Grove, that went to #1 that was like garage based. So it's becoming popular again, and these guys have, because they were kind of at the top of what they were doing, they've kept working, week in, week out, getting multiple bookings for just all of these years, and they still do. And they get like a lot. Even there's a guy, Harry Redknapp, who won the biggest show, and he's putting them on his Instagram because he'd done stuff with them. And the guy won the X Factor, brought them on tour. So I don't know. These guys are kind of up. They're always about. They're always in and around there, but they haven't really been around there with the music. So it's like the aim. I don't know. Is almost like to match that. Like they should be people. If there's any club event up and down the UK, if they're there, the club is packed. People, they've got a huge audience, and it's also like nostalgic. Because people seen it so many years ago. And to me, it doesn't make sense how they're not at the front. I suppose there's the aim. If they're bringing tracks out, everyone in the UK loves this. It's like, what's the audience for Drake? I don't know. Is the audience everyone? It probably is, isn't it?
I mean, not everyone, but if he went someplace, he could get, sell tickets.
I suppose that's the aim, is like getting, that people are interested in. So how do we get the exposure on these platforms so the music is connecting to people that want to hear it,
Mm-hmm. So the best way to get on algorithm playlists on Spotify is to do a bigger push at the beginning of the release. So two things I do. One, since he does have a name, I would submit to the Spotify editorial playlist. You do that through the Spotify for Artists app, and you have to do that at least a week before it's released, I believe. So whoever your distributor is, TuneCore, DistroKid, whoever, set it for maybe 14 days out. And then once that whole process, and they say, everything's good to go, it's going to be released this day, then you can submit it to the Spotify for Artists app, and they can listen to that, and they might put him on some extra playlist just themselves. Now, the good thing about that is it's free. The bad thing is that there's no guarantee whatsoever. So if they hear it and they're like, we want to pass, well, you don't get on anything. So it's a toss-up with that. It's not really marketing. It's just kind of shooting in the wind, hoping it sticks. The other thing is to try, and I'd say you need at least a I want to say at least $350 ad spend to an independent promotion company to try and get on some of those Discover Weekly or Particle Detector or Sounds of Spotify, all the algorithm playlists. You probably have to do at least that amount of push. I mean, sometimes people get it with the lower cost options, but if you want to give yourself the best chance, I'd say at least that much. And then on YouTube, we actually have a video right on our YouTube channel about how to structure your video to get the most engagement out of it. Again, even with both of them, the initial push within the first 24 to 48 hours is what's going to help the algorithms. So when you give it that push on YouTube within the first 24 to 48 hours, and you have some good keywords and set up for SEO, you can start to get on more of the suggested videos easier, especially since he already has a name. So there's 2 videos on our YouTube, actually. One about music keyword tags, and then one about how to structure your video to get engagement. So I'd watch just both of those. They shouldn't be crazy long videos, but they have a bunch of practical things you can do to maximize your chances.
And so, and are you one of the, when you say try $350, is that one of your services to get on?
Yes. So with us, the thing about us is we don't do any explicit content. So I don't know if the song's clean or not. But if it is clean, then we most likely can do it. So what happens with us, we take the song, we review it, listen to it, check it for quality and content. Then if it's clear on those 2, we can promote it. We have, I think our package around that level, it goes, there's 6 packages, but the 3 smallest ones are $77, $147, and then $357. So the $357 will be the closest one to what I recommend if you're trying to like at least give it the initial push. What I would do is see how it performs on Spotify and YouTube, and then whichever one that is taking off on more, you can kind of shift the percentage and the budget towards the better performing one.
Would you be using YouTube paid advertising?
Oh, for YouTube, yes. So we do Google Ads. We've done hundreds and hundreds of, probably thousands at this point, songs, and just know how to structure them to get the best engagement out of it. So that is what we do for YouTube. For Spotify, we have a full network of curators, and they review songs with us. They see if they like it, if it's a good fit for their playlist, and that's how the Spotify promotion's done.
Okay, and then but with the Spotify, there's no guarantees. So it could be $350 and then not get on any playlist, or is there any guarantee?
So with us, what we're guaranteeing when we accept a song is that we're going to keep working until it gets on a certain amount of playlist followers. So we vet the playlist in our network for activity and authenticity, meaning that if there's a 200,000 follower playlist, but it's not getting a lot of followers, then it's not credited the same amount as a 50,000 follower playlist that does get a lot of traffic. So we factor in all those things. And then we keep working on it until it gets to a minimum amount of followers and it stays on the playlist for 2 to 4 weeks. So with us, we are guaranteeing a minimum amount of followers when we're working on it. Like, we'll keep pitching it to the people until it gets picked up by enough, but we don't guarantee that, your song is going to get 10,000 streams or it's going to get this many saves. Like, obviously we can't really guarantee that. We have some estimated play ranges that we've seen from previous campaigns, but we're not saying that your song is going to perform at the bottom or the top of the range. We're saying that that's what we've seen in the past, and we can safely assume that you should be somewhere within these numbers.
Okay, and then with UK Garage, that might be outside of your. You're saying there's less playlists, because I'm assuming, how are you getting these creators, or I don't know, curators? So is it outside of your, do you have UK Garage guys, or are you working in the US and you just have those types of playlists? what is available to you in terms of your curators.
Right. So